Len and Mia, these are small business owners, and simply put, they are fed up. This crook hit multiple spots on back-to-back nights, and now the crooks are getting even more brazen. Today's crime happened in broad daylight.
I look to my right, and then I see this.
Angel Arteaga didn't think it would happen to him. Thieves smashed out his window and went right for the cash in the center console. Investigators believe he was followed back to Katy, Asian Town, after pulling $1,000 from the bank.
I was in shock. I didn't expect this to happen in this area. This is supposed to be a safe area.
But it's happening a lot more often. This only the latest crime this week. Lava Coffee and Dessert, Fork It, and Ding Tea Katy hit one after another early Tuesday morning. This is video as the suspect hurled a rock through the window to get into the locally owned tea shop.
I would definitely say it's a crime spree.
The very next night, the same suspect struck again, this time targeting Black Pearl Seafood Bar. Surveillance photos got a good look at his face. He also hit Break Time Tea Lounge. Their door still damaged, but he wasn't done. He also robbed Yummy Pho, and cameras rolling when he storms into Beard Papa's K-Town and heads straight for the register. That's 3 more businesses, all hit within an hour.
Things are getting worse, in my opinion. And who's to say they're not telling their buddies that, hey, this area is a good spot to hit. I did this 2 days in a row, multiple restaurants. Nothing happened to me.
Businesses already seeing an impact.
We're all struggling in this.
Noah Godin owned Allegiant Gaming. He hasn't been hit, but worries he's next. He tells us tonight one break-in is one too many, and it's leading to a drop in business at the worst possible time.
We're all family-owned businesses, so for this to happen, it affects our families, it affects us, and it's really unfortunate for everybody involved.
Now, because of all these break-ins, Katy, Asian Town now has security guards patrolling here on site from midnight until 6 a.m. every day. The Harris County Sheriff's Office tells us they're investigating these crimes. If you recognize the man in that surveillance video, you're asked to call the Sheriff's Office right away. Back to you. Well, guys, behind me, you can see the lofts at the ballpark have been fenced off, and demolition does appear to be imminent. Nonetheless, protesters are vowing to fight it. The lofts at the ballpark near Minute Maid Park could soon be torn down to make room for TxDOT's I-45 expansion project, which TxDOT says will ease traffic congestion through downtown.
Houston is not ready for what this project could bring.
The apartments now sit vacant. TxDOT purchased the property and helped relocate residents elsewhere. All of it happening before the feds ordered a pause on the project due to an ongoing civil rights investigation. It's why TxDOT says they're ready to move forward. That's not sitting well with Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee.
They were only supposed to take 165 units. They are taking 375.
Jackson Lee back in Washington tonight trying to stop the demolition.
If it's done without us!
While back home in Houston,
TxDOT, hear our cry.
Protesters marched fighting to do the same, saying this will make the Houston housing crisis worse.
If TxDOT tears these buildings down this week or any week before the Federal Highway Administration has lifted their pause, that sends a message that TxDOT doesn't care about the concerns of the community.
Activists say there's no need to demolish any buildings yet until after the feds conclude their investigation. They say it will prove the I-45 expansion project negatively and disproportionately impacts Black and brown communities.
Tearing down dense housing next to transit for a highway is the completely opposite way that we should be going as a city.
Now, TxDOT has not specifically answered questions as to when the building will be torn down, but says it will happen soon because these types of buildings, when left vacant, can lead to illicit and illegal activity that could burden the community. We'll keep you posted on this fight as it develops. Back to you. Sherman, that death toll has climbed. What started as 46 dead last night has now jumped up to 50. First responders found the bodies of 50 migrants dead inside that 18-wheeler trailer. When they opened those doors, the bodies were stacked one on top of another. Early this morning, just before 6:30, investigators towed that 18-wheeler away. It is now evidence in Homeland Security's suspected human smuggling investigation. San Antonio PD tells us it was a worker nearby who called 911 yesterday afternoon after hearing a faint cry for help coming from the trailer. When he approached the 18-wheeler, he spotted a dead body just outside. When he looked inside, he made the gruesome discovery. A business owner nearby watched as paramedics pulled body after body out of the truck.
Feels so sad and it's just emotional.
The deceased include men and women, but fortunately no children. Alongside the dead were also 16 survivors, including 4 children. All of them rushed to hospitals with heat-related injuries. It's not clear how long these migrants were trapped in that trailer, but yesterday temps reached triple digits in the San Antonio area.
The patients that we saw were hot to the touch. They were suffering from heat stroke, heat exhaustion, no signs of water in the vehicle. It was a refrigerated tractor trailer, but there was no visible working AC unit on that rig. We're not supposed to open up a truck and see stacks of bodies in there. None of us come to work imagining that.
The fire chief here tells me everyone who responded is or will undergo behavioral health assessments due to the nature of what they witnessed last night. And late this morning, search dogs were back out at the scene just to make sure there aren't still migrants who escaped the truck needing help in the woods. This investigation now in the hands of Homeland Security. We're told 3 people are in custody, but their connection to this incident still remains unclear. The mayor here in San Antonio calling this a horrific human tragedy. We're reporting in San Antonio. I'm Marcelino Benito, KHOU 11 News.
I believe we're going to need more medics.
4 hours before first responders descended on this semi-truck in San Antonio in a desperate attempt to save lives.
So far I have about 1, 2, 3, probably about 6 or 7 more patients that I can see.
The driver, identified by Mexican government officials as Homero Zamorano, caught on camera crossing through this CBP checkpoint in Ensenal, Texas. The new information released in a press conference hosted by Mexican President Manuel López Obrador.
El doble discurso.
Mexican officials released this map of the truck's alleged route. It's believed the migrants were loaded into the truck on the U.S. side near Laredo before heading north. The truck also cleared the Cotulla CBP inspection point before ending up in southwest San Antonio. Zamorano arrested in a nearby field, pretending to be one of the injured smuggled migrants.
Border Patrol does not have the resources to be able to inspect all of the trucks. And as a result, the Border Patrol did not have the capability of saving those lives.
In Eagle Pass tonight, Governor Abbott highlighting what he calls a catastrophe at the border. Record number of crossings continue, 44,000 alone last month in the area near Eagle Pass and Del Rio. Abbott ordering new measures.
DPS will create and implement a checkpoint strategy beginning immediately, where they will begin targeting trucks like the one that was used where these people perished.
DPS will deploy teams trained to detect clone trucks along smuggling corridors. In addition to more checkpoints, Abbott says DPS will deploy at least 2 new 20-trooper strike teams to areas seeing record crossings. And the Texas National Guard plans to put more drones in the air in the coming months.
Prayers are with the families who were affected by this tragedy. It's heart-wrenching. And it's even worse when you hear about some of the things that happened during the course of it. And we never want to see that happen again.